able to talk to the parents and explain legal concepts, breaking it down into Spanish. I think it's been something that our firm can do. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for being here. And my question is, what is your opinion on parent rights as they relate to the brand?
How they relate to
Your
the brand.
opinion
What is your
or parent rights as they relate to the brand?
parent rights?
Parent rights. Parent rights as they relate to the Brown Act. I want to make sure I understand the question. I mean, at the end of the day, we are well versed in everything related to the Brown Act, public records, things like that. Parents are members of the community, and parents, whether it's the Brown Act or the public records or what have you, have every right to utilize those laws. The Brown Act itself is a critical aspect of public education and public service in general. The way I look at it is everything is subject to public scrutiny, and frankly, everything should be in public session except those things that are specifically excluded by law to be in closed session. We sometimes have to actually work on the message with parents and others in the community, because really when you say parents, we're talking about communities, and it can be business owners, it can be community rabble-rousers and everything in between. And frankly, it's about education. It's about understanding that we're not here to keep things hidden, but there are certain things that must be done in closed session. So for instance, legal discussions about pending lawsuits or future things. Then, however, one thing we do, and I've done it this week even, is put out messages to the community that says what is happening and what's going on. So the most important thing, and I think Martha touched on it by using the word trust, is that you, in whatever you do, whatever we do, is to build trust. Because people don't trust lawyers. Sometimes they don't trust board members and superintendents. And it's all about building trust in the community. The law is not something to fear, it's something to cherish, because we are really, California, I come from a different state, is like no other place in the world in terms of giving people the opportunity to be part of their government.
There's one thing I'd like to add to that. A lot of school districts will assume that when you're putting together an agenda, that you'll go for the what's called the safe harbor. The fewest amount of words that you can put in your agenda description and no more. I always take the position, tell the public, do more than what the law requires. Let them know in some detail as to what's happening. And when you do agenda descriptions, lay out what the action is in common sense language that's not filled with legal boilerplate, so that when a member of the public comes up to your agenda, they'll know actually what's happening, and they won't need a lawyer to know what's going on.
Yes, question?
As you may know, the Annex is not a city, so we're not incorporated. One of the struggles that we have as a district is that we have no one supporting our district financially besides our AD. So, so this is a two-part question. So how would you support us, the district, to try and find other ways of revenue to support the community and our children's district? And the second part to my question is, we're right next to LAX. We have received LAWA funding, but it's a constant battle for us to get our reimbursement from LAWA. We get some money, but then stops, and then we have to go back again, and so it's like a fight when it has already been given to us. So how would you help us with these two things?
I'm going to answer this the best way, which is to ask Mr. Williams to answer your questions, because he is the absolute expert on what you're asking for in terms of business facilities and how better to maximize your revenue for whatever. 3 minutes.
The first thing that you have to do is you have to be a discerning buyer. When you're looking to purchase something, there will often be an easy way to buy things through a JPA or a collective consortium. And the main thing to do in those situations is to shop and shop well, shop hard, and look between the JPAs and tell your business department hey, don't go for the first JPA that you see. The second thing is, when you're looking, I know this is a hardship district in terms of construction funds. You need advocates in Sacramento. I'm sorry to say that the OPSC and the SAB is a political body as much as it is a legal body. You need people with connections out there to make sure that you get the full funding, and if there's any auditing, you get not only good legal representation, but you get good lobbying representation, because that's a political process. So that's one of the things that we excel at. We have a Sacramento office. We have Sacramento connections. I know who to call at the DSA if they're giving you trouble. I know who to call at the OPSC if they're giving you trouble. So we're very good at administrative advocacy.
Thank you.
Thank you all for tonight. And again, this is to Mr. Williams. You answered the technology one as well. I wanted to follow up with Prop 39. It was in your proposal, and see if you saw any needs for us in our district with Prop 39.
To tell you the truth, I have not looked to see what your energy efficiency projects have been in this district, or your solar panels projects. I have provided a large amount of districts with advice both on energy efficiency, and there's 3 types of energy efficiency. I'll make this very quick. There's behavioral energy efficiency, where you get your employees to change their behaviors. Stay away from those types of contracts, in my opinion. They're a waste of your money most of the time. Energy efficiency is the best way to go to save energy. And third, if you go for solar power, I may be going out alone. I don't think we've got solar facilities here. If you do not have solar facilities, be very careful about how you acquire them. There are very important provisions in those agreements. How you repurchase the solar facilities, what kind of discount you're getting, and whether you're getting a guarantee of a savings at all is something you need to look at. And we have been pioneers in the solar facility field. And if you get the right one, you can save a lot of money, and that saves your general fund and frees up money for other educational purposes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.